Welcome back to MTN Live in the Mountains. I'm here with the Women's Fund of the Blue Ridge. How are you ladies today?
Great.
I have Karen Sabo, who's the Executive Director of the organization, and I also have Becca Saunders, who is the Vice Chair of the Board. So I'm so thankful, or so glad you guys are here. So
thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. So first off, for those who may not know what the Women's Fund of the Blue Ridge exactly is, tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. The Women's Fund of the Blue Ridge is a women's philanthropic fund, and these great things have been popping up all over the country for the past 20 or 25 years. And a lot of people may know the name Power of the Purse, and that is the idea behind women's funds. Women will get together, pool their money, and then give it to nonprofit organizations that in turn help other women who may be struggling or who may need a hand up. And we want our sisters who are less fortunate than we to lead the best lives possible.
It's just a fantastic organization. Working with Hospitality House, I can say that you guys have done so much for us as well, especially at Christmas time. I know we were talking a little earlier. You guys are fantastic, so thank you. I want to take this time to really say thank you for all that you do for our community.
It's our pleasure.
So speaking of, tell us a little bit about the grants that you guys have just awarded.
Oh, we will. This is very big news, and we're going to split this up. First, I'm going to talk about the sort of nuts and bolts of it, and then Becca is going to talk specifically about some of the agencies that we have granted to.
Wonderful.
We just gave out, here's the big number, $130,000 in grants.
Wow. That is amazing.
It is amazing.
Is phenomenal.
It really is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's awesome.
It is. It's fantastic. And especially if you look at the size of our membership, the size of our fund, compared to some funds in cities with much larger populations, the amount that we give away is way out of proportion to the size of the community that we come from. So it's really a testament to the very generous people who live in this community, the businesses that support us, the individual members. So we thank everyone who contributed to that, either through their volunteering or through their financial donations. And I'm going to talk about money just for another minute. Now, a lot of your viewers will remember that the Women's Fund of the Blue Ridge is a relatively recent organization. We are a combination of the former Appalachian Women's Fund and High Country Women's Fund. And when you look at the money that those two funds had given before this year, it was $800,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
So now we're up to $930,000, and if we can do at least 70 next year, we will be up to $1 million in grants to help local nonprofits.
Wow.
And that's in a fairly short period of time, 10 years or so. We've given away almost $1 million.
That is very impressive and so amazing. It's great to look at this organization, and really it's just a group of caring people who care about the community and care about the people in the community, and that is just tremendous.
Great.
Women helping one woman at a time.
Yes.
What drew me to this organization was that I'm the youngest of 6 daughters, and my mother was an incredible activist in the community I grew up in Alabama. And I guess this apple doesn't fall far from that tree. And women are important, so I'm passionate about this cause.
Absolutely. Well, that is just awesome. So tell us a little bit, is there a little bit more about the grants?
Well, we give to local nonprofits. They need help more today than they have recently because times are harder. We give to organizations like Oasis, which shelters people who are suffered from abuse. We do 2 programs through them. One is to support the shelter and the expenses associated with itself. The other is to empower the people who work at Oasis. It's a known fact that these organization workers suffer from burnout, and they really need to support themselves. So we supported a program that they wanted to start this year for that. We also support the Children's Council. We do a lot of child care. Sometimes women who are having difficult times are mandated by courts to take particular classes in their recovery. And what prevents them from taking the class is their children. The children can't attend the class and they need somebody to look after them, and they must attend these classes. So we often set up child care rooms or staff to take care of the children so they can participate in the required courses. We also support Girls on the Run, which is spreading to other counties besides just Watauga, and we're excited about that. It's young girls who run, and it's all about self-esteem. Mountain Alliance is a big organization that we support. It's sort of a preventative organization because we hope that it keeps girls from needing our services later on when they're full grown.
And as someone with a daughter at the high school, I love Mountain Alliance. And
my children also participated in Mountain Alliance.
Right, so I think anyone with kids at the high school will particularly appreciate that. And the program we give to with Mountain Alliance is called Lift Leadership in Female Teens. We still have a disproportionately low amount of female leaders in pretty much any field, and we're just trying to do something about that when they're in their teens and let these girls know that they are capable of being leaders.
Absolutely.
And the cool thing about being in this community, just like we have an experience with Mountain Alliance, we all know each other. We're familiar with these organizations. We know their needs and we understand their problems. And so it's easy to muster up the support, not just from our board members, but from our donors and everybody. We also support Blue Ridge Women in Agriculture. We support the Hunger and Health Coalition, the Hospitality House, New Opportunity School for Women, which is where we got Karen from. She used to lead that organization and is no longer doing that, so we got her as quick as we could. And we're thrilled to have Karen
But
be our
now I get to
executive
give
director.
them money, so
Right.
that's great.
Yeah, it comes full circle that way. Yeah. But WWAMI, WIN, all sorts of organizations
That
to
is
help women.
That is really amazing. I think it's great that you guys can see, like, pinpoint certain things that other people may not think about, like childcare. That is so important, and it's a small. What seems like it's a small issue, but really, when you have that childcare, it makes a huge impact.
Absolutely. And you know from working at the Hospitality House
Absolutely.
that the largest group of people in poverty in America are mothers with young children.
Absolutely.
And, you know, any of us...
68%.
Absolutely, right. And it seems as though women are getting penalized because they're the ones who bear and keep the children, and that's just not fair.
No.
So we're trying to do something about that. We give, one of the child care programs we fund is at the Children's Council. There are mothers who are a little undereducated and are trying to finish their GED but can't do so without child care. So we give to a program where they can come, bring their children, go study, and then pick up their children and go home.
See, that's amazing. It's a small thing with a big impact, and empowering young women. That is amazing. I love that because, you know, if you start young and let them know, hey, your opportunities are endless.
Absolutely.
You can do this, no matter if you are a woman, whatever. I think that is amazing. So we're starting young and building those future leaders who probably is going to continue this wonderful organization in the future too.
We
So.
hope so.
Karen mentioned our merger, the two women's funds coming
Right.
together, and when we merged, we had a lot of duplication coming to the table because we did a lot of the same things. I happen to be the chairperson of the grants committee now, and I came to the fund from High Country Women's Fund. Kathleen Kennedy Olson wore that hat with the Appalachian Women's Fund. So together, we have learned a tremendous amount about best practices and how to go through the process of choosing who gets our grants. One thing Kathleen always reminds me, and I really appreciate it, is our mission statement. So I'd like to read that if you don't mind.
Please do.
It says, our mission is to create positive change and economic justice for women and girls in the counties we serve. Through funding to local nonprofit agencies, we aim to be a philanthropic catalyst for all women and girls who have access to the resources they need as they strive to become empowered and reach their full potential.
That is
So.
perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
I have to say, one of my favorite words in that mission statement is catalyst,
Yes.
because it's a little thing that's sort of making fire and making other things happen, and that's really what the Women's Fund is. And since I said that, I just want to give a shout out to anyone who might be interested in joining the Women's Fund.
Yes.
Something I like about our Women's Fund in particular, as opposed to some other ones, is that anyone can join regardless of income. There are certain other funds in other parts of the country where you need to give at least $1,000 a year. The minimum amount you need to give to join our fund is nothing. We will let people join if they will give 10 hours of volunteer work. So some of the women who've actually been on the receiving end of our grants and who may not have a lot of income can still join. We welcome everyone.
Well, that is fantastic, and I mean that lets it, for my situation, you can kind of see there are other ways to give than just money. Your time, volunteering, and telling the story. The more people that know, the better. The better the organization can get their message out.
Absolutely.
So you guys are doing tremendous things. So one more thing that we're going to talk about too is a coat drive. So tell us a little bit about this event.
Well, speaking of different ways to give, one way to give is get a little stuff out of your house. A lot of us are dealing with clutter, and now that the weather is supposed to turn cold pretty soon, I'm glad it hasn't yet, but it's gonna. Some of us are getting out our winter things and seeing that we're not really wearing everything that we have, or we didn't wear it last winter or the winter before. If that's you, give it to us to give to the guests at the Hospitality House. I love the motto of the Hospitality House, a hand up, not a handout. And I know that there are programs there that encourage people to get out in the community, to better themselves, to look for work, to keep going to work, and we want people to be able to do that even in our very harsh winters.
Absolutely.
So we're asking people to bring coats, boots,
gloves, hats, anything to keep them warm during the
Scarves.
winter.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and they can bring that now to either Foot Sloggers locations, either in Boone or Blowing Rock, or to Tricia Wilson's law office in Linville, and we will pick those up, bring them to the Hospitality House, sort them out, and give them out to people who need them.
Absolutely. So tell us when that event is, whenever you bring them over to the house.
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, I believe that the sorting will take place at the Hospitality House on October 23rd and 24th, and we do need volunteers for that. And then the day that we're giving everything out is October 25th.
Right, and you guys take over our conference room, and there's always, last year it was amazing, and so many people got a lot of different clothing items that they needed to stay warm, and it is because of you guys and because of our wonderful community. So on behalf of Hospitality House, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
We greatly appreciate it, and I know that our community greatly appreciates all the work that you ladies do.
Well, thank you.
It's
our
very
pleasure.
inspiring, very, very inspiring. So did we get everything you guys want to talk about? Is there anything else you want to add?
I think that's it. If people would like more information on how to volunteer or giving us items or how to become a member, I hope that they will contact the office. We have a fantastic website designed by Parker Stevens. So they can go to womensfundoftheblueridge.org, and if you click Contact Us, that's me, and I will get back to them and answer any questions they have or help them learn how to become a member.
Oh, right.
And our phone number too is?
Yes, that's 264-4002. So please give us a call or email and join us.
Absolutely. What great work you guys do. Thank you guys for being here and sharing your mission and some of the events that you guys have coming up. So yeah, be sure to check them out online, learn more about their cause, and they're doing tremendous things in the community. Again, thank you for being here.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having us.
We'll be right back after this.